We're here tonight to talk about the drop and launch setup. It's super simple. You just need two pieces of hardware. You're going to need an iOS device, so that's going to be an iPad or an iPhone running drop and launch. In our case tonight, we're using an iPad. And the second piece of hardware you're going to need is the Garmin Approach R10 launch monitor. Now, Garmin makes this for golf. We've repurposed it so that it can be useful for baseball too. Now, drop and launch will work for batting practice off of a tee, off of a pitching machine, or off of a live arm. What we're looking at here is the entire setup for batting practice off of a tee. You see we got a tee with the ball on it, and behind your ball, about 6 to 8 feet, is where you place your Garmin Approach R10 launch monitor. Now, the height of the launch monitor also matters. You want that bottom edge of the launch monitor to be sitting about 4 or 5 inches taller than the baseball. Because of that, we use a telescoping smartphone tripod in order to be able to move that Garmin Approach R10 launch monitor up and down based on how tall your hitter is and where exactly they're placing that ball off of a tee. Now, once you get your launch monitor set up at the right height and at the right distance, just go ahead and hack. Now, the only other requirement is that once that baseball is hit, it has to travel at least 8 feet before being stopped. Now, in a giant batting cage like this, you're not going to have any problems. You can hit that thing as far as you want. But if you're training in a small space like a batting cage or a garage, if you're hitting into a net or an impact screen or something else, you got to just make sure you got enough space so that once that ball is hit, it can travel at least 8 feet in front. If you're going to be using drop and launch for front toss or arm toss or off of a pitching machine, clearly you're going to want to protect your Garmin Approach R10 launch monitor. For that reason, we stick it out behind the back net of our batting cage, or if you've got a handy L screen or a 9 pocket, or if you're out of field, you can even stick it behind that thin metal fencing, that backstop that you have. The good thing is the Garmin works off of radar and it can pass through all of those nice thin materials just fine. Now, the height of the launch monitor does also matter when you're using it for a pitching machine or live arm batting practice, where if you're using it off of a tee, you want that launch monitor to sit about 4 or 5 inches higher than your baseball. If you're using it in a front toss or arm toss or pitching machine scenario, you could just set that launch monitor to about the upper third of your batter's strike zone. And again, we can achieve that just by using a smartphone tripod that has a telescoping feature. That way, as your batters roll in and out of the cage, if they're different heights, you can move it up and down super easily. An awesome feature about drop and launch is that it runs off of your iOS device, so your iPad or your iPhone. And for that reason, if you've got an extra TV handy, you can screen mirror your device right to that TV for a pro setup. Now, if you're pitching front toss or doing machine pitch, what you're going to want to do is just make sure you're getting the baseballs right into that batter's strike zone. And as long as the ball is around that strike zone, the Garmin Approach launch monitor should be picking those up.